Welcome, I'm your host Logan23. You're joining me for Weight of the Worlds Chapter 4. Since that day, nothing's been the same. I should get up. It's too cold out today. So much for the sunny spring. Even the cows would rather be inside. Pull yourself up off the hard ground. Look towards the tree-lined path to school. I guess I'll find Mika. He's been skipping a class a lot lately, and I understand why, but it's still not cool. Set off down the path, but before you begin looking, Mika finds you. Hey, Naomi. I got a new one for you. A new what? A new joke, of course. Well, why not? Lay it on me, then. Great! I worked this up because I thought you might be kind of downbeat from the news, but it'll work even better on a good audience. I could use a laugh right about now. Knock, knock. Who's there? Who? Who? Oh! I always knew you were an owl. Groan. Really, Mika? That was the corniest one yet. Oh, if you think that was bad, you're gonna love the next one. Knock, knock. Who's there? Cows go. Cows go moo. Cows go who? No, Naomi. Cows go moo. How about one more, since we're getting close to the schoolhouse? Yeah, there's the grand finale. Knock, knock. Come in. His face lights up with a recognition, and the two of you burst out in giggles. I don't get it. I don't get it. Can I steal that one? Well, it's not free of charge. How about you do my homework for 2 weeks? Drive a hard bargain. How about one assignment? Sold. Two of you fist bump to seal the deal as you approach the school. But the cheery moment fades when you see your somber classmates taking their seats. You and Mika grab two near the back and settle in. Hey, Mika, do you think Mr. Lee will make it in today? He should be here by now. I almost wish we wouldn't have come to class. He needs to rest. That day when he collapsed feels like it was forever ago. I don't want to think about it. Glance around the room and notice that everyone has a somber look on their face. Everyone's down in the dumps when Mr. Lee runs late, and I guess we're all afraid of the day he doesn't show up. It's been this way ever since he told us about his illness. You don't notice when a tired-looking Mr. Lee strolls in 10 minutes late to class. Hey, how about one last knock-knock joke to get everyone's spirits up? Sure, I've got a good... Happy to oblige, Naomi. Oh, sorry, Mr. Lee. I didn't realize you were... Knock, knock, class. Class chants back in unison. Who's there? Two. To who? No, it's to whom? Who taught you such atrocious grammar? Everyone can't help but laugh. Some kids shout out, you did, and a few other boo the cheesy joke. On that note, let's begin. As you all know, we've no time to waste. Now, the reason that joke is probably the funniest one you've ever heard is that who refers to the subject of a sentence, while whom... As the day passes, Mr. Lee continues to sport his famous smile, even as his health is chipped away by disease. Good morning, class. Coughs hard and sways on his feet slightly as the class calls back a morning greeting. Now, I have to warn you, today's lesson is fairly advanced. Any questions before we begin? I'll ask if there's going to be a test on this, if we'll need this for high school, how Mr. Lee is feeling. Are you sure you should be up and about, Mr. Lee? Good point, Naomi, but I'll give the rest of the lecture from my seat. Slides over a chair from an empty desk and takes a seat in front of the board. Does anyone remember what we were going to study a few weeks ago at the lesson where I had my incident? The class is silent. Finally, someone ventures a guess. Space? That's partly true. I remember... Oh, crap. I knew it was something about Newton, but it was very vague. Newton's laws? No. No, 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 no. Hold on. Was it how commons fly? Because yes, the trail, the ice trail. It was about how commons fly overhead and how they keep moving no matter what. That's part of it, for sure. But actually, I had quite a larger lesson in mind for that afternoon. A few quizzes too. Well, you know how it all goes. Of course, I'll have to excuse my illness for crashing the party, so to speak. Now, Newton's first law states that when an object doesn't have an outside force acting upon it, it will stay still or continue straight with no change in speed. So the comet will just keep moving forever. Ah, that would be the case if there's no other forces acting on it. But we actually have many forces in effect in our universe. Like gravity? Exactly. Things like gravity, friction, magnetic fields, they are all at work on each of us. And on the comet, too. So, we're sort of like the comet? Yes. And the similarities don't end there, you see. You're both made of stardust as well, in a roundabout sense. For the good days, you almost forget that your time with Mr. Lee is drawing to a close. Every day his lessons become more and more complex as he rushes to push the class to its full potential. At first you feel overwhelmed by all the homework, names, dates, facts, and figures, and especially all of Mr. Lee's life lessons. But eventually, everything seems to click in place. Every new chapter in a book becomes a treasure trove of new tricks and tools. You even find yourself daydreaming of a life far from this little village, dreaming of a big school with an overflowing library and hundreds of brilliant minds to pick. Mr. Lee is in a bad spot by the time summer finally arrives. Good morning, class. My apologies, but I'll need to teach from my chair again. Good morning, Mr. Lee. Are we going to read more about poems today? I want to do some more math, actually. I had some trouble with the homework last night. Ah, we're actually due to start with science today. Apologies, my little scholars. Pauses to gasp and hack into a handkerchief. It comes with fresh stains, but this is typical as of late. Mr. Lee, maybe we should slow down. Nonsense. Graduation date is in 2 weeks. I've sworn to each and every one of you that I'll be there to sign your diplomas, haven't I? Teacher. Today, we'll focus on Newton's second and third laws. Oh, man. How many laws did the guy make? Newton's second law states that acceleration is produced when a force acts on a mass. The greater the mass of the object being accelerated, the greater the amount of force needed to accelerate the object. So, if you were to say that in a way a normal person could understand, it would be... Simply put, heavy things need more force to move the same distance as lighter things. Wow, even I got that one. I'm assuming we're back to her and it's just their screw up. Why we're learning this? Teacher, that seems like common stuff sense. What part will help us solve problems someday? Well, Isaac Newton went so far as to actually develop a mathematical equation to explain this phenomenon. Wow. How did he do that? Hard work and lots of curiosity, Mika. I think you'll be a great inventor someday yourself. What's the third law, then? We're ready to hear it. Ah, that's wonderful. Now, Newton's third law of motion is my favorite. Not only is it a truth about the universe in terms of physics and forces, but it also rings true as a philosophy, a way to live life. I think this tool will prove the most useful one you have. Carry it closely from now on, class. You say that about all of them, Mr. Lee. How much of this stuff do you think we'll need? All of it. It's literally all around you every day, Mika. The glass can't help but snicker. All of it, of course. Your minds have no limits. Anything Einstein or Newton discovered can be at your fingertips right when you need it, as long as you keep learning and growing. He hacks at his handkerchief for a moment. The class falls silent, watching this man who seems larger than life gasp while his life slips between his fingers with each desperate choke. Right, well, Newton's third law states that for every force, there is a reaction force that is equal in size, but opposite in direction. Maybe you've heard of the shorthand version for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction? But if that's true, how does anything move anywhere at all? Good question, Naomi. But remember, not everything is the same mass or is strong enough to handle a lot of force. When you fire a gun, the force pushing the tiny bullet out almost pushes the gun backwards, right? Yeah, it hits you in the shoulder sometimes. It leaves a big bruise. But how can it be equal if the gun doesn't fly all the way across the field like the bullet does? Well, the gun has a lot more mass than the bullet. From Newton's first law, we learn that things with higher mass need more force to move them. So, the same force that's strong enough to shoot the bullet isn't strong enough to move the gun? That's correct. But you said that it's also a way to live your life. I don't get it. It's simple. Growing up in this small village means that things won't always be easy. Sometimes you'll feel like you have the weight of the whole world on your shoulders. But I want each and every one of you to feel that force and push back just as hard. You want us to carry the whole world? Well, in a figurative sense. I trust that each of you will face all hardships bravely, using all the knowledge you've gained and all bright, bold spirit inside of you. It's up to your generation to make this world what you want it to be. You know, where the hell are teachers like this anymore? I'm serious. I had one like that when I was in 5th grade. She made such a huge difference in my life that no other teacher made. I wanted to be cool with lasers and time machines and tricked out motorcycles and big skyscraper buildings and you can't even see the tops of. I want it to be more wise, more free, more kind. These are all good aspects and good things to aim for. We need more kindness in the world. We need more freedom in the world, and we sure as shit need more wisdom. I'm gonna be more wise. I want to make the sort of world where everyone has a teacher like you, Mr. Lee. So even the kids like us in towns without schools can learn about Newton and all those other guys. That's a great dream, Naomi. With that, it's time for lunch. Normally I'd ring the bell for you all back, but today, how about you let me know after an hour's passed? Coughs weakly. I'd like to take a nap during the break. Only a few days after this, Mr. Lee goes downhill fast. The class is sure there's no way he'll see graduation day. Every evening, you all say goodbye to Mr. Lee like it's the last, but every morning you find him at the chalkboard, barely standing, yet still desperately sharing his wisdom. There are patches of time where things feel normal, almost fun. You still play games, you help each other with homework, and Mr. Lee still rants about life lessons when his voice cooperates. But eventually, when Mr. Lee loses the ability to walk on his own and his voice becomes raspy and hoarse, you all band together to convince him to go to the hospital. He knows it means saying a final farewell to you all, but stands his ground and arranges the transport to take place as far out as his health will allow. Graduation day. I'm graduating from Mr. Lee's school today. I should be happy. Hey, Naomi, is the rest of the class here yet? Nope, I think everyone's taken extra time to get ready this morning. Makes sense. Graduation day is a big day for us farm kids, and the gut-wrenching feelings of having to say goodbye to Mr. Lee is hovering in the silence between you. Neither of you want to bring it up. And we have to make sure we have our secret weapons handy. Did you bring yours? Yeah, of course. Finally, everyone arrives, and you all make the trek down to the main road where Mr. Lee is resting peacefully on the back of a horse-drawn cart, his ride to the hospital in the city. Some kids, including you and Mika, crawl into the cart to sit around him, and the others stand off to the sides and peer over the edge at his sleeping form. Hi, sorry, Mr. Lee, we're here now. Are you ready for the ceremony? He doesn't stir. I'll speak louder. Mr. Lee, we're here for the graduation day. He opens his eyes and manages to smile, then sits up slowly, leaning against the back of the car. Ah, hello, class. Forgive me, I was only checking my eyelids for holes. Did you find any? None today, or yesterday, or the day before, but it's always best to check. Well, you all made it. It's been quite a journey, hasn't it? I remember how scared I was, learning big words and long numbers, but now I do that stuff for fun. And when I didn't even know what a table of contents was, I mean, I still forgot to check them sometimes, but at least I know what it's for now. Other students chime in with their favorite lesson and memories. It's been an incredible year in Mr. Lee's classroom. And now, here you are. Wasn't able to grade your final papers, I'm sorry, but you are all graduating just the same. I know that all of you will do great things for the world, as long as you never stop looking at the big picture and undertaking new challenges. If I could, I would stay here to guide you all through another few years of study, but, well, we can't always know what will happen next. Well, all we can do is try our best. We're trying our best too, Mr. Lee. In fact, we've got something to show you. Your classmates pick up your cue and all fumble in their pockets, and the rustle of paper making a symphony of gentle sounds. After a moment, everyone is holding up official-looking certificates. I'm sorry, my vision is a bit blurry. Are those diplomas? I thought I left them back at the school. No, there are the results of our entrance exams to high school. You took the test already? I thought early admission exams were scheduled until next month. They weren't. We sent letters to the school and told them about how hard we were working and about our last day with, our graduation day. And guess what? They agreed to give us the test early. That's wonderful. How many of you decided to take it and who passed? We all took the test, Mr. Lee, and we all passed it, too. It was all Naomi's idea. Incredible. You should all be very proud of yourselves. I know I'm very proud of you. They say we're the youngest kids to ever start high school this early. We broke a record or something, I think. You've all fought so hard for this. You see his ears tear up slightly. I don't know what to say. Goodbye seems wrong. I don't like the way that sounds, you know? But how about this? How about I say congratulations? You've all become wonderful, brilliant students, and I know that you'll change the world someday. It's all thanks to you, Mr. Lee. For your final assignment, I want you all to enjoy a nice, long summer break. Go outside, see the sights, keep exploring. You've officially graduated from my school. Now, this is where I take my leave, but even if we don't meet again anytime soon, I want you all to know that there's nothing more I can teach you. In one short year, you've aced every lesson, triumphed against all odds. As you move forward on to next adventures, I want you to keep this victory in your hearts. Stay brave, stay curious, stay true to yourselves. That's my last lesson. But now, everyone's faces are streaming with tears. The cart driver approaches from the path and motions to Mr. Lee, signaling that he's ready to head out. Mr. Lee gives out a few hugs and high fives, but then urges you to hop off the cart. It's time to go. You all chase the cart as it rolls away, yelling goodbyes and wishes for luck. You run as fast as your legs will carry you until the cart dips out of sight, beyond a hill in the distance. The class makes their way back up to the lonely schoolhouse. Did anyone remember where Mr. Lee said he left our diplomas? Check his desk. I think they're in one of the drawers. Do we need them for our first day of school? Nah, I think it's just some sentimental thing. We'll keep them because we earned them, you know? Finally, you find the drawer stuffed with quaint handwritten diplomas. Each one has a wax seal stamped on it. It's clear that they were made with love and care. You pass them out to your classmates. As each child receives their paper, they give a broken smile and head out the door towards home. When only you and Mika remain, it's time to lock up the classroom. It's weird to think whether we might never see this place again, isn't it? It'll be here still, Naomi. We can just let ourselves in whenever we want. You know what I mean, though. I just feel like things won't ever be the same without Mr. Lee. I guess you're right, but... Suddenly, your vision is engulfed in blinding light. You hear an impossibly loud screeching sound, and the schoolhouse around you is ripped to shreds. Mika, are you okay? I'm alright. I'm okay. Just hang on to something because... But the sound is so loud that you can't make out the rest of what he screams. You feel as though you're being torn apart. You hold your hand up close to your face to try and see what's wrong, but they're fading away bit by bit, like dust into the breeze. The last thing you see is the remains of your beloved schoolhouse scattered around you, and it's nothing more than a heap of rotten wood and stone. Then everything goes black. That's sad. Not the schoolhouse thing, though that's sad too. So, something tells me, I haven't peeked at Chapter 5 yet, something tells me that the Carbon Federation had taken, quote-unquote, one of the most intelligent people on the planet. They deemed that they were worthy, possibly, and that they're teleporting all the people off the planet into cryo-freeze. So, will Mr. Lee be alive? Will they be able to, because the Carbon Federation is so significantly advanced, be able to heal him of whatever ailment he has? That's my hopefulness. Like I said, I had only one real teacher in my life who made a significant difference. For me, because I was going through so much in my life that one day I would love to sit down and share with everybody. But until that day, the only other teacher that I had, because her name was Mrs. Dye, she was an incredible teacher. The only other teacher that I had that made a difference was Miss Chapman. She was my language arts teacher, and she told me that I would one day make a great writer, because at the time I was one of her best students writing. And I grew up in the big city. It was no little farmer thing, you know, like they're growing up in the story. It was the big city for me. So with that being said, unfortunately, my writing skills, I haven't let them die, but I haven't wrote a serious story in quite some time. And for me, the only story that I want to tell right now is kind of like the story of my life. I feel like I've been through so much that one of my friends said that, you know, why don't you get your story out there that'll make a difference in people's lives and tell people, and so they don't feel alone anymore. And so I'm hoping to one day, I'm slowly working on it. It's just very hard for me. So with that being said, I'm going to move on. I hope y'all did enjoy the video. Feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. Stay tuned to Chapter 5. And also other videos up on the channel. And without further ado, head down the description below. There is links to social media, the links to our Discord where you can come hang out, and also links to a few pages supporting my channel. If you can support, that's cool. If not, just feel free to like and share. And until next time, stay well, stay awesome, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.